Most engines don't die from bad engineering. They die from perfectly avoidable habits. Here's the shocking part. In Japan, it's normal to see 300,000-mile engines that have never been rebuilt. Same displacement, same materials, same technology. Yet in other countries, those same engines are considered high mileage at 120,000 miles. So what's the difference? It's not magic oil, it's not secret parts, and it's definitely not gentle driving. It's a system, a way of maintaining engines that most drivers never learn, because it doesn't benefit repair shops. And it doesn't sound exciting enough for marketing. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Japanese engines quietly outlive everything else, and why copying just 3 of their habits can literally add 100,000 to 200,000 miles to your engine's life. Stay until the end, because the most important habit is the one almost everyone does wrong. Section 1. The Japanese mindset. Why longevity comes first. To understand how Japanese engines last so long, you first have to understand how Japan thinks about machines. In Japanese engineering culture, there is a principle called motenai. It means, don't waste what still has value. Engines aren't treated as disposable. They're treated like long-term assets. That's why Japanese maintenance focuses on preventing wear before it shows symptoms, stabilizing components before they fail, and avoiding stress instead of fixing damage. In other words, Japanese mechanics don't wait for problems. They assume wear is always happening, and they manage it. Section 2. Why mileage means nothing in Japan. Here's something that surprises most people. In Japan, mileage is not the main indicator of engine health. What matters more is oil condition, thermal stability, and contamination control. That's why a 250,000-mile Japanese engine can sound healthier than a 90,000-mile neglected one elsewhere. Japanese mechanics rarely say, "This engine is old." They ask, "How was it treated?" That single difference changes everything. Section 3. Habit number 1. Oil is changed by condition, not just mileage. This is the first major secret. Outside Japan, drivers ask, "How many miles can I go on this oil?" In Japan, the question is, what condition is the oil in right now? Japanese service schedules are conservative for a reason. Short trips, stop-and-go traffic, cold starts. Even with modern synthetics, Japanese mechanics often change oil earlier, not later. Why? Because oil doesn't just lubricate. It also absorbs fuel dilution, carries soot, neutralizes acids, and manages heat. Once oil chemistry is overwhelmed, wear accelerates exponentially. That's why Japanese drivers would rather waste a little oil than waste an engine. Section 4. The hidden enemy? Fuel dilution. Nobody talks about this. One of the biggest reasons engines die early today is fuel dilution. Modern engines, especially at direct injection, the turbocharged designs, short-trip commuters, all suffer from unburned fuel washing past piston rings into the oil. Japanese mechanics are extremely aware of this. That's why oil change intervals are shorter. Oil viscosity is carefully chosen and engines are warmed up correctly. Fuel-diluted oil loses viscosity, weakens the oil film, and causes bearing wear long before noise appears. This is silent damage, and Japan takes it seriously. Section 5. Habit number 2. They warm engines the right way. This one alone saves thousands of engines. Japanese drivers do not idle for 10 minutes, rev cold engines, drive aggressively immediately after start. Instead, they follow a simple rule. Start the engine, wait 10 to 20 seconds, then drive gently. Why? Because oil pressure builds almost immediately, but oil temperature lags behind, and cold oil doesn't flow properly into tight clearances. Japanese engineers design engines with tight tolerances, but they require proper warm-up behavior. Gentle driving for the first few minutes reduces piston scuffing, protects cam lobes, prevents bearing microscoring. Cold starts are where most engine wear happens, and Japan minimizes that wear every single day. Section 6. Habit number 3. They avoid shock stress at all costs. Here's something most people never consider. Engines hate sudden extremes, sudden high RPM, sudden shutdown after hard driving, sudden oil chemistry changes. Japanese drivers avoid the hard acceleration on cold oil shutting down immediately after high-speed driving. Mixing oil brands and additives. Why? Because metal expands and contracts constantly. Sudden changes cause stress fractures at a microscopic level. Over time, those microfractures become worn bearings, cracked rings, oil consumption. Japanese longevity comes from smooth transitions, not babying. Section 7. Why Japanese engines age better. Here's the truth. All engines wear. But Japanese engines wear slowly and evenly. That's the key. Uneven wear causes vibration, oil burning, compression loss. Even wear allows rings to stay seated, bearings to remain stable, engines to run quietly for decades. This is why teardown inspections of high-mileage Japanese engines often show clean cam journals, minimal sludge, and intact crosshatch patterns. Not because they're special, but because they were protected consistently. Section 8. The myth of overbuilt Japanese engines. Many people say Japanese engines last because they're overbuilt. That's only half true. They last because maintenance habits align with engineering, intent, oil choices match real driving conditions, and stress is managed instead of ignored. Put the same engine in a different culture, with delayed oil changes, cold revving, and heat abuse, and it won't last nearly as long. The engine didn't change. The behavior did. Section 9. What this means for you. If you want your engine to reach 300,000 miles, you don't need perfection. You need consistency, awareness, and patience. So far you've learned why oil condition matters more than mileage, why warm-up behavior is critical, why sudden stress shortens engine life. But there's one habit that matters more than all of these combined. It's simple, it's cheap, and almost everyone ignores it. That habit decides whether engines quietly age or suddenly fail. Section 10. The most important habit. Oil level is checked regularly. This is the habit that destroys more engines than bad oil, bad fuel, or bad driving combined. Japanese drivers check oil level routinely, not once a year, not when a warning light comes on, but between oil changes. Here's why this matters more than almost anything else. Modern engines naturally consume oil. Thin piston rings, tight tolerances, long highway runs, high temperatures. Even healthy engines can consume half a quart every 2,000 to 3,000 miles. If oil level drops and oil temperature rises, lubrication weakens, bearings overheat. And here's the danger. Low oil almost never triggers a warning light until damage has already started. Japanese owners don't trust warning systems alone. They trust dipsticks. A simple 30-second check every few weeks is often the difference between a 300,000-mile engine and a spun bearing at 140,000 miles. This habit alone quietly saves engines for decades. Section 11. Why Japanese drivers avoid extended oil intervals. Another controversial truth. In Japan, long oil change intervals are rare. Even though Japanese manufacturers helped develop modern synthetic oils, their domestic service culture still favors shorter intervals, cleaner internals, lower long-term wear. Why? Because extended intervals assume perfect driving conditions, stable temperatures, minimal fuel dilution. Real life doesn't work that way. Japanese mechanics know that. Traffic, short trips, humidity, and stop-and-go driving all degrade oil faster than laboratory tests suggest. So instead of pushing oil to its theoretical limit, they replace it while it's still protective. This prevents sludge formation, ring sticking, oil control failure. They don't chase maximum mileage per oil change. They chase minimum wear per mile. Section 12. The Japanese rule about oil viscosity. Almost no one follows this. Here's a subtle but powerful difference. Japanese mechanics don't treat oil viscosity as fixed for life. They understand this truth. Engines wear, clearances grow, and oil needs change. That's why many Japanese service schedules allow slightly thicker oil in warmer climates or thicker oil as engines age. Not a drastic jump, just a controlled adjustment. For example, 0W20 when new, 5W30 after higher mileage, especially in summer or heavy use. This improves oil film strength, ring sealing, bearing protection. In contrast, many drivers elsewhere treat the factory oil spec as sacred, even when conditions no longer match factory assumptions. Japanese longevity comes from adaptation, not blind obedience. Section 13. Why Japanese engines stay cleaner inside. If you've ever seen teardown photos of high-mileage Japanese engines, you'll notice something unusual. They're clean, not spotless, but free of thick sludge and heavy varnish. That's not luck. It's the result of frequent oil changes, quality filters, avoiding additive overload, and stable operating temperatures. Japanese mechanics are cautious with aftermarket additives, miracle cleaners, aggressive engine flushes. They prefer steady cleanliness over dramatic cleaning events. Sludge rarely forms suddenly. It forms slowly, and Japan prevents it slowly. Section 14. Cooling system care, the silent protector. Another underappreciated habit. Japanese owners take cooling systems seriously. Coolant is replaced on schedule. Radiators are kept clean. Thermostats are not ignored. Why does this matter for engine life? Because heat is the enemy of oil, seals, gaskets, and metal stability. An engine that runs even slightly hotter than intended oxidizes oil faster, hardens seals, accelerates wear everywhere. Japanese maintenance culture treats overheating as unacceptable, not normal. That mindset alone extends engine life dramatically. Section 15. Why Japanese drivers rarely abuse cold engines. Earlier, we talked about warm-up behavior. But here's the deeper reason Japanese drivers respect cold engines. They understand metal behavior. Cold pistons are smaller. Cold cylinder walls are tighter. Cold oil doesn't cushion impacts well. Hard acceleration during this phase causes piston slap, ring scuffing, bearing stress. Most of that damage is invisible, until oil consumption and compression loss appear years later. Japanese drivers avoid this not because they're gentle, but because they're patient. And patience adds miles. Section 16. The myth that Japanese drivers drive slowly. This is false. Japanese drivers use highways. They accelerate. They drive at speed. But they avoid unnecessary redline sustained abuse without warm-up heat-soak shutdowns. In other words, they drive hard responsibly. Engines aren't fragile. They just hate careless stress. Section 17. What Japanese mechanics actually fear. Here's what truly worries Japanese mechanics. Neglected oil, overheating, fuel dilution, low oil level, sudden thermal shock, not horsepower, not RPM, not mileage. Those fears shape their habits, and those habits shape engine longevity. Section 18. The 300,000-mile formula. Simple but powerful. If we boil everything down, Japanese engine longevity follows this formula. Checkmark clean oil, correct oil level, stable temperatures, gentle transitions, consistent maintenance. None of this is exciting. None of it is expensive. But together, it's unstoppable. Why this knowledge is rarely taught. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Long-lasting engines sell fewer repairs, need fewer rebuilds, generate less service revenue. So the industry talks about performance, features, intervals, convenience, but not about discipline. Japanese longevity culture survives because it's embedded, not advertised. Final question for you. So now you know. The difference between a 120,000-mile engine and a 300,000-mile engine is rarely design. It's behavior. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you checked your oil level? Do you warm up gently? Do you change oil based on condition or hope? Because your engine is aging every second. The question is, are you slowing that process or accelerating it? If this changed how you think about your car, leave a comment and tell us, which habit are you going to change first?